Hi, and welcome to the third part of my series, Classic Lick series, on profiling the guitar playing of Magic Sam, one of the great electric blues guitar players of the late 60s who died very prematurely, about the age of 32 or so. And we were looking at his playing. We started out with just a dictionary of his chords that he uses, and then we got into rhythm patterns that are used in his songs. Now we're going to start looking at his lead playing, single string playing. Notes, leads, bends, all kinds of stuff. And we're going to start out in the first position blues box. Eventually we'll get to the second position blues box. And we're going to do single strings instead of double stops. We'll do some of those later too. We're going to start out, I've got 22 different examples of Magic Sam licks tabbed out for you. And I'm going to try to show you these, but also explain, kind of the ideas behind them. Some people don't like the talking part of these videos, but if you're going to play stuff, Jesus, you should understand it a little bit as well. That's what I'm trying to do. So the first example comes from a tune called I Need You So Bad. And this is a lick that he uses a lot to kick off songs, or even in his solo. So let me just play the lick that I have tabbed out for you, and then we'll get into it. So he goes like this. And that is a lick that you hear B.B. King use it on his old stuff. A lot of different guys use this, but he kicks off the song. It's a shuffle in A. And a couple ideas. One, that little bend. He uses that a lot. So let's break that lick down. I'll play it slowly for you. So I'm bending up. We're in A, so I'm playing over the first position blues box, bending up the 7th fret of the 3rd string, using my 2nd and 3rd fingers on the 6th, 7th fret. So there's your bend. And then I'm kind of dragging the pick to the 5th fret of the 2nd string and the 5th fret of the 1st string. That's the first part of it. And then I'm just wrapping it up by going from the 8th fret of the 2nd string to the 5th fret. And then he goes into the next part. So that's kind of a, takeoff lick. And so that is the first example of Magic Sam's playing. And that little bounce there, you'll hear him use that in a lot of his solos in different ways. So that's something, that lick is kind of the basis for a lot of different stuffs. So that is lick number 1 to this a little bit. So he does start off this song. These are from I Need You So Bad. And he does a little variation on that. So we're doing the same thing, and then going to the 8th fret of the 1st string, back to the 5th fret of the 1st string, 5th fret of the 2nd string. That little lick. Now Magic Sam uses this over and over again. Sometimes something like that, but in this case, and so this part, he's going to go to the 7th fret of the 3rd string, to the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and then the 5th fret of the 3rd string, and then wrap it up on the 7th fret of the 4th string. So one more time. And you can do a lot of and use different notes and things like that. So let me play that for you slowly. And there is lick number 2. Lick number 3 comes from that same song, I Need You So Bad. And he does this climb into the second blues box. Now maybe I should show you this later when we do the second blues box, but I'm going to show you. That lick is kind of the heart of this. And this is a typical electric blues lick. Freddie King used this a lot. A lot of guys did. So I'm starting on the 5th fret of the 3rd string to the 6th fret, and then going 5, 7 on the 2nd string. And we get to the 5th fret of the 1st string, which is an A. And then very quickly, you go to the 10th fret of the second string, which is also an A. And that's just kind of a neat shift from the first position blues box and the lower notes to that high note. So he does this. You can also slide into it by sliding from the 8th fret to the 10th fret, 9th fret to the 10th fret, or from wherever you want. Something like that. Try not to get the other strings to vibrate. So there's a little Magic Sam thing that he did quite a bit, and he'd use that in different ways, but the idea to go from the first position to the second, and then he goes to the second position blues licks before going back to the first blues box. That's a Magic Sam concept, an idea to mix the playing in the first and second blues box and get some different sounds. The high, more bluesy, bending, crying sounds combined with the kind of the stronger stuff in the first position blues box. So lick number 3, licks 1, 2, and 3 come from a song called I Need You So Bad. So if you want to hear those, you can listen to those songs in the key of A. Called I Found a New Love, and this is also an A. And one of the kind of signature things about this song and the way he plays single string notes is he does a lot of stuff on the 3rd string. Like that. And the lick I have transcribed for you, something like that. That's the one I have. And you can hesitate and do different things to make that sound differently. So basically, I'm over the A, first position bar chord, and I'm bending up. I call these 3-finger bends because I'm using 3 fingers to bend the 3rd string from the 5th to the 8th frets, 1 finger on each fret, 5, 6, and 7, 7th fret. So I'm bending the 7th fret of the 3rd string. And really, everything I'm playing there is between the 5th and 7th frets on the 3rd and 4th string. And you can come up with all kinds of different variations using that position. Listen to the song or the tune I Found a New Love, and you'll hear him use lots of different variations just on that same stuff. And sometimes he comes to the end of a verse, getting to the 5, doing that little pull off from the 7th to the 5th on the 4th string to the 5th fret of the 7th fret of the 5th string, which is your 5. So forth. Listen to that tune and you'll get some ideas. I tabbed out one for you. That sounds pretty good. Okay, let's move on. This comes from the same tune, I Found a New Love. And this is something, this kind of lick shows you something that Magic Sam would do a lot. Let me just play it for you one time. I don't know if I can get this exactly as I have it tabbed out. So that is a typical Magic Sam thing, and going. So 8, 5, 8, 5 on the 1st fret, 2nd string. Kind of that quick pull off type thing. That is a kind of a lick that you hear Magic Sam use a lot in combination with that lick, which we did at the beginning. Something like that. Or you could just do that. You can throw in the bends and some pull off. Or you can just play it straight. However you want to do it. But the basic idea is 8, 5, 8, 5. That is what he's throwing in there. And then he's doing something what we did in the last lick. So you can just check the tab on that. So as you're playing in that first position blues box, you got lots of ideas already. You can do all kinds of stuff. So that was number 5. 6th, we're going to get into some bending, and Magic Sam did a lot of cool bends. We're going to go to C sharp. So I got my first finger on the 9th fret and making my first position bar chord. We're going to play over that blues box there. This is what I call a long bend, and this is from a tune called Every Night and Every Day. And he starts from, let me just play the first bend for you. He does something like this. And so what I'm doing, I call this a long bend, or a 4-fingered bend. And he starts with the 9th fret of the 2nd string with a little lead-in note. He's going to bend twice between the 9th fret and the 12th fret, 1 finger on each fret on the 2nd string. This is all on the 2nd string with my pinky on the 12th fret. So he just bends. And on the last one, he throws in some vibrato, where you kind of use your wrist and shake it just a little bit. B.B. King was famous for this. You just need to practice that. It's not so hard to do. Work on it. Try different ways to get that sound. If you bend too far, you'll hear it. You don't want to bend too far. You want to get that note to where it sounds sweet, to where it sounds good. So Magic Sam a lot of times would do these bends on the 2nd string. I did 2 notes there. Like that, just all by itself. And that's from a tune called Every Night and Every Day. And he does something similar, where he does this. Kind of as a fill lick. So he's using that long bend, and then he's throwing in this. This is lick number, this is also part of lick number 6. So I'm putting these 2 together. So it's all part of the same sequence from that song. So the second part, I do my bend with the vibrato on the 2nd string, and then I'm just going to go through the 2nd position blues box, starting on the 9th fret of the 1st string, 12, 9 on the 2nd string, 11th fret of the 3rd string, 9th fret of the 3rd string, twice on the 11th fret of the 4th string. Like that. So the whole lick. Something like that. So put them all together slowly. Sorry, I got that bad note in there. One more time. Slowly. That's another kind of typical Magic Sam lick. Number 7, this is from a tune called I Have the Same Old Blues, which we already looked at the rhythm pattern for this song in the previous lesson. In this tune, he does some licks where he's going to do that long bend, but not on the 2nd string, but on the 1st string. All kinds of variations. The key there is if we're playing in B, I think this is the lick I have tabbed out. Or something like that. Check out the tab for the last part of that. But the main thing I'm trying to get here is this. Doing the long bend, 4 fingers from the 6th to the 9th fret on the 1st string. And he bends that up, and then comes back to the 9, 6. So that you can do all kinds of different variations. Check the tab to see what I did for the last part of that, because this is taken from I Have the Same Old Blues. So you can do the long bend on the 2nd string. And Magic Sam also does a lot of the long bends on the 1st string. So there's an example of that, and that is lick number 7. Lick number 8 comes from a Magic Sam's version of the instrumental San Jose by Freddie King, and he does some really cool licks over the 1, first position bar chord. This is one I really like, this little descending thing he does a couple times. Let me play it for you one time. And the first part of that is what I'm interested in. So he's starting from the 10th fret, we're in D. So we're at the 10th fret, 2nd string. And he's going to pull off the 13 to the 10 on the 1st string. And then come down on the 12th fret of the 2nd string. Back to the 10th fret of the 1st string. So that's the first part of that lick. And then he does kind of the same thing. Starting from the 10th fret of the 2nd string again. Now he's going to pull off 13, 10 on the 2nd string and come down on the 12th fret of the 3rd string. So the whole lick, and then wind up on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. So again, and then he finishes it out with something like that in the context of the song. So you're playing a tune in D and you're getting to the 5, you can come down with this descending run. So let me play it slowly. Whatever you want to do after that. I really like that, and you can use that in a lot of different ways, but this is from his tune called San Jose. Same song, and he does this really cool kind of bending thing on the 2nd string. Let me just play it for you one time. We're still in the key of D. And there's another example of using that long bend on the 2nd string, and you can come up with all kinds of variations, be creative with it. So he's going to go, and I'm starting on the 10th fret, 2nd string. Actually, I'm going to go like that. So I'm going to go 10, 13 on the 2nd string, and then bend, and then go 13, 10, 13, and bend it again. I think I even bend it twice. Do all kinds of stuff with that. I have it tabbed out the way it's used in that song. One more time, smoothly. Or just once. Like that. That's a cool Magic Sam idea. He does a lot of stuff, him and Otis Rush, where they get a lot of mileage out of these bends. You know, using the variations, just adjusting and playing those bends differently. You get a lot of really soulful, cool stuff. So that is lick number 9, called Keep Loving Me Baby. And in this one he does another kind of variation where he's doing this. And he's got this lick. And so a typical blues lick is where you do the long bend with 3 fingers. So we're in D. So I've got my long bend here between the 10th and the 13th fret. But if I want to get this note and play it like this, I've got to put my first finger on the 10th fret of the 1st string and then use my other 3 fingers for that bend. So we're bending and then getting that first one. You can play it like this. But Magic Sam's going to use the bend. He's going to do it twice. Sometimes you can bend it both times. Or you can just go one bend and kind of just a quick pick from the 13th fret of the 2nd string to the 10th fret of the 1st string. So something like this. And then into that long bend on the 2nd string. And that's a bend I hear him use in Keep On Loving Me Baby, which is really cool. again, you can just do all kinds of endless variations with those same ideas. So that lick is number 10 from Keep On Loving Me Baby. Number 11 also comes from Keep On Loving Me Baby. And this is another kind of little nuance in Magic Sam's lead playing that I've noticed listening to a lot of his stuff. So he does something like this. One more time. And the idea here that I'm trying to emphasize is the way he doubles up on the 13th fret of the second string. So it's bending on the third string. So let's do that again. So we're going to go 10th fret of the first string. And you just play it quicker. Like that's the first part. And then bend on the third string, 12th fret, so we're going from the 10th to the 12th. And then 10, 12, 10 on the third string, wrapping up on the 12th fret of the fourth string. So here we go slowly. And so taking that note, instead of playing once, he doubles it up. And you'll hear him do that a lot of times in that first position blues box. If we're playing in D, it would be the 13th frets on the first and second string. So we might do something like this. Do it twice or just once on the second string or the first string with that. That's something you hear him do quite a bit. So that lick one more time. Just like that, and that is lick number 11. This comes from the solo in the song You Belong to Me, and it's kind of similar to some things we've already done, but yet a little different. He's not going to use the bend. Let me just play it for you one time. Whoops, I hit the shift on the switch on my guitar. So one more time. Whoops, let me get it right. So there is a bend. He starts out with the bend on the 13th fret, long bend, so I'm going between the 10th and the 13th. And he's doing this quick little bend back and forth. Instead of not doing any bending, it's just back and forth between the 13th fret of the second string and the 10th fret of the first string. So with the bend, so it's doing a little bend, or like that. So one time. So I'm bending, back and forth, 10, first string, 13, second string, 10th fret of the second string, bending up on the 12th fret, 3-fingered bend of the third string, and then wrapping up on the 12th fret of the fourth string. So there's another kind of little Magic Sam lick. Played fast. Played slow.